The rise and fall of O.J. Simpson, from stardom to infamy. It's O.J. Simpson, the golden boy of American sports, talented actor and loved celebrity. Whichever way his life turned from the football field to the widescreen success, almost always followed him everywhere. The great player for the Buffalo Bills, who morphed with remarkable ease into a Hollywood career, most memorably as the star of the Naked Gun movies, had become a fixture of American pop. O.J. was, in a word, a star good-looking, affable, and beloved by no small percentage of the population. In 1994, however, everything changed. He sent shockwaves across the globe as the prime suspect in the brutal murder of his ex-wife, Nicole Simpson, along with her friend Ron Goldman. The whole scenario that followed was nothing less than a media-driven trial that kept the interest of millions glued. In due course, the O.J. Simpson case was soon to become an imploring tale of fame, violence, and the search for justice or none at all. June 12, 1994, was a typical night in Los Angeles until it turned into one of the darkest nights Los Angeles has ever seen. Nicole Simpson, ex-wife of football star O.J. Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman were brutally murdered outside her home in the posh neighborhood of Brentwood. The crime scene was a blood witness to the violence. Blood-stained sidewalks told how brutal the attack had been, the running of neighbor dogs wildly screaming in the night. By the time help came, however, it was too late, and Nicole and Ron were both dead victims of knife wounds. It sent shockwaves throughout the nation, but as the investigators toured the scene, one name came up: O.J. Simpson. Evidence started pointing in his direction, setting up a case that would stop the world. As the detectives were narrowing the investigation circle, deeper investigations started to build up evidence against O.J. Simpson in every respect. There was Nicole and Ron's blood on his car. There was a bloody glove discovered near his estate. And upon closer investigation, cuts on O.J.'s hands, thus increasing suspicion. O.J. had been the talk of the town several times as Nicole called police several times during those years, reporting the acts of domestic violence. The neighbors described him as erratic. With evidence piling up and a history of abuse, police soon named O.J. Simpson as their prime suspect. The story spread like a jungle fire across the globe, and in the twinkling of a moment, O.J. This was a hero hailed throughout the country who suddenly became the most hated monster. See for yourself how this idol in sports and popular culture crumbled as this case finally aired to an unsuspecting world. June 17, 94, O.J. Simpson turns what should have been routine arrest into one of history's most watched events, in astonishing fashion. First, O.J. hijacks his white Ford Bronco with Al Cowlings behind the wheels, a very close friend of O.J., took to the roads of Los Angeles in a low-speed chase in which he was armed with a gun and reportedly threatened to take his life. The whole thing played out in live media for millions. Estimates approached almost 95 million tuned to the scenes of that chase. On the highways, on the overpasses, signs, cheering for O.J. as the police trailed right behind. This was such an embarrassing moment in O.J.'s life, which the whole world got to see in real time, the moment his life was blowing up. It ended after hours of tense negotiation at O.J.'s Brentwood home outside with a bevy of police, reporters, and growing crowds of onlookers. At last, O.J. emerged, clutching a framed family picture and a 5-page letter to his loved ones. In this manner, dramatically surreal was the way O.J.'s passage from admired celebrity to prime murder suspect would reach its close. It would define his legacy, going from being a heroic football player to now facing criminal charges. The world held its breath as the police closed in, knowing this was the moment that would set in motion the trial of the century. The trial against O.J. Simpson started in January of 1995, but proved to be anything other than a trial. Very soon, it turned out to be some kind of media show in which every detail of this case was broadcast for millions of Americans. The so-called Dream Team consisted of some of the best defense attorneys in the country at that time, headed by none other than Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, and F. Lee Bailey. The prosecutors, to their credit, had apparently an extremely ultra-strong case in stored to prove his guilt right from DNA, a blood-soaked glove, and lots of circumstantial evidence mounting up. But the real action was in the courtroom, where cameras captured every twist, each cross-examination, every explosive revelation. It's a trial with all the drama of a circus, with millions glued to the TV day after day as the stakes climb higher and higher. Of the most unforgettable moments from the trial, one was indeed when the prosecution asked O.J. trying on those blood-stained gloves found on the premises where the crime was committed. They were too small, and this was what could be termed as that moment when he brought out that now famous sentence: "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." For everyone who watched, that dramatic action appeared to seal what turned out to be another defining moment of that trial, where pieces of incriminating evidences to be used against O.J. could so easily have become his saviors instead. Cochran's statement and dramatic flair turned the tide of public opinion, making him one of the stars of the trial. In such an entanglement of proof, along with the working of the defense team, people began to question what really was justice being served for the case. 8 months of exhausting testimony, and only after 4 hours deliberation, the following verdict came down: not guilty. The announcement sent the media into overdrive on October 3, 1995. To a few, it was racial justice. A moment the judicial machinery could flex muscles against prejudice. For others, though, it was a juridical miscarriage, or such was the argument as one witnessed how money, status, and being high up in society get so-and-so off a very grave charge. The emotional tugging ran that deep as to rend the nation asunder at that length and breadth. Be that as it may, people came to stand with regard to the debate on it. There was only one sure thing about it. O.J. Simpson would go into the records as one of those most polarizing, sensational moments of American legal memory. Though acquitted in criminal court, the legal battle was not over for O.J. Simpson. In 1997, a civil court found him liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole and Ron and ordered him to pay $33.5 million in damages. There's your financial blow. O.J. had to sell his memorabilia to pay the judgment, the one who lived a life of ultimate luxury. Public perception regarding O.J. irreparably changed. Once adored, he was now the symbol of a fractured system. But from here, it was a precipitous, merciless fall. The man who once had it all watched as he was increasingly isolated from the very public who adored him. A sour end to what, at one time, had been such a glittering career. Simpson remains years later among the most notorious and sensational criminal cases ever tried and adjudicated by the American courts. More than a trial, it was a cultural touchstone on questions of race, celebrity, justice, and the media. For many, it irreparably tarnished the legacy that was O.J. Simpson. To others, it was a teachable moment that sometimes fame and privilege can take justice off course. The case left an indelible mark upon the American judiciary, a grim reminder that when the right cocktail of ingredients come race, celebrity come media combine, then even the course of history can be changed. The name of O.J. Simpson will continue holding on to what is probably one of the most divisive cases in the annals of the United States. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more historical crime scandal videos.